Hello chaps, The Warning's new album Everything's Falling is due for release on August 28th on Republic Records, and the final single, or we presume the final single before we get there, is, well, upon us. And it has been thrust upon us with furious aplomb. Good start, Glenn. Last week I did an analysis of Ego by The Warning, which had kind of a different feel to it, both musically and in terms of where I think these three sisters from Monterrey, Mexico have arrived. It appears that they're not going to, well, how do I put this? Take any shit anymore. And so with the content and context of this music video, and indeed the reasoning behind the song, which is going to open the album Everything's Falling, I would quickly like to just read an article from Revolver magazine where the ladies do actually explain what the meaning behind Ritual is. Ritual is about the fear of losing something good. Even when life is going well, anxiety can convince you that disaster is right around the corner. It's about getting trapped in those thoughts and letting them keep you from actually living in the moment. At its core, it's about accepting that life can be messy and unpredictable. Things fall apart, plans change, and sometimes you lose your footing. But those moments can teach you the most about yourself, and they're often what make you stronger in the end. So there are themes here then of something that I really, really identify with, which is when everything's going right, when everything feels like it's in its right place, instead of enjoying that, and instead of that becoming all-encompassingly positive and joyous, you are waiting for something to go wrong. That, rather, is at the root of things to do with neurodiversity, with rejection-sensitive dysphoria. It has to do with a societal impact that happens to all of us now. That if it's going well, you're just waiting for something to go wrong, and that seems to be the pressure that a lot of us have or put on ourselves, or have had put on ourselves from outside factors. And I'm glad that they are taking the opportunity to address that in this song. And we will dive into the lyrics shortly. But the one thing that I'm really, really excited about breaking down today is the music video, because one of my passions is angel mythology. I'm not into religion so much. I lost my faith a number of years ago, but I have I've kept up with the game, and so I'm really excited. I love hearing stories about the reading articles that people have written, or reading texts about angel mythology, about the first war in heaven, about the casting down of the morning star, about the most beautiful of all the angels who wanted to be a god himself, and that the archangel Michael forces battled together. Lucifer was cast down, and therefore that was really, in broad terms, the introduction of hell. And so the theme of fallen angels, in fact, after I first saw this music video when it popped up, the first film I wanted to watch was Dogma. And I do think that if you haven't seen Dogma in years, please go back and watch Kevin Smith's Dogma, because it's fucking phenomenal. But Bartleby and Loki, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, in order to get back to heaven, where they have been cast out from, they must become mortal. They must cut off their wings, or have somebody else remove their wings for them. And
soon a cadre of police will arrive just in time to kill us as we exit the church. And then this failed experiment called existence will cease to be.
There is a very thematic kind of comparison between those two things here in this music video. Right, that's enough rambling. We're going to get to it today. Thank you very much for everybody who's been watching all of my warning videos and all the sleep token videos and all of that good stuff. And yeah, thank you. And today we're going to dive into it again, another deep dive, because this is Ritual by The Warning.
to close my eyes when I run out of time. Can't keep on running. I keep becoming realistically distressed. I play it out in my head, catastrophically obsessed. It makes me wanna rip my heart out of my chest, 'cause I just see death in what is beautiful. Plan all the funerals. Everyone's
Such a catchy chorus.
delusional, but I deprive myself like it's a ritual. Ignoring my prescription, I found a new addiction. Now I'm not eating, and I'm not sleeping.
Is it Sand People? Is that what they're from Star Wars? They've got a name, haven't they? It's got. I love the blue grading. Is it? Answers in the comments.
My mind is playing fiction, a curse of my existence. Hyperfixation, no medication stops me from calling the dead.
Oh, I love that melody. Where it bounces.
Candles on my bed, bracing for the world to end. It makes me wanna rip my hair off my head, 'cause I just see death in what is beautiful. Plan all the funerals.
What a fucking video!
Everyone's blissfully delusional, but I deprive myself like it's a ritual.
Labyrinth. You know. Ugh. That's nasty. Oh, I love those pushes. Ooh. Oh, we're still sitting 4, but it pulls it around.
I
Yes.
just see death in what is beautiful. Plan all the funerals. Everyone's blissfully delusional, but I deprive myself like it's a ritual. But I deprive myself like it's a
Fuck me, there's so much symbolism in this.
But I deprive myself like it's a ritual.
So much symbolism. Okay, all right, we might be here a while because the horse, the orchid, the wings, let's fuck it, seraphim, angels. Let's get into it. So the warning have often explored, particularly recently, and particularly in ego, the idea of empowerment and self-definition and breaking free of the constraints that hold you to that. So real quickly, just to kind of expand a little bit on my point earlier on about the angel mythology, the first war in heaven, the casting down of the morning star. When one chooses to cut off one's wings, one makes oneself mortal, and there has always been this old adage that the human beings that we again going back to the Garden of Eden were exalted amongst angels. Angels were subservient to God, whereas mortals weren't. We were given a gift that angels didn't have, the gift of mortality. And so there is obviously themes here of transformation and symbolic death. But maybe there's a touch of one has to kill off one's old self in order for one's new self to emerge. I mean, we can talk about Sleep Token in terms of that, where well, at least I have spoken often about how the vessel who worships a god called sleep has to potentially kill off other versions of themselves. Again, we're going back to a Jungian perspective there, where Carl Jung insists in the terms of individuation that you need to come to terms with the dark side of you. You need to kill off potentially the persona in order to become your essential self. And so in this music video, the wings are very, very prevalent. Now, seraphim have 6 wings. Rather than 2, angels have 2. Again, listen, it could all be made up. Probably is all made up, but is what it is. We're just going to use them as examples, whether you're religious or whether you care or not. So the 6 wings, obviously with the 3 sisters there are 6 wings, but they don't feel like seraphim. They feel like they're fallen angels. And the wings in particular have loads of things that they can represent. They represent divinity, freedom, transcendence, and also potentially the soul or lack thereof. And when they are blackened or darkened or damaged, it can often represent rebellion and exile, a loss of innocence, but self-determination. One deciding that, no, I am taking my route. Wings on angels can often still translate to a level of subservience towards a greater being, a God. But of course, as we know, God is in the TV. And that's why it's interesting that even though we first see the 3 sisters fallen, broken, lying on the ground, and they've hit it with such fucking force that the earth is cracked around them, but they don't seem that they are being portrayed as victims. This isn't, we were cast out. This feels like fucking Lucifer. It feels like I chose my own path. I got here for a reason. And the desert setting is important as well. I believe this was shot somewhere in Mexico. Begins with a C. Fuck, name escapes me right now. Please do, again, tell me in the comments. Do clue me up as to anything that I've missed here. But the desert represents, but in mythology and in religion, the desert's important. It is isolation. It's where people were tested. It is also about purification and revelation. Jesus. That was a lovely Freudian slip. Christian slip. Moses, Christ, the Israelites, even in modern culture, films like Dune, Mad Max, about identities being stripped away, about people being tested in isolation. Not in isolation, in literal isolation. And the concept of a ritual being conducted in the desert means that nothing remains except the truth. So outside of the wings for a moment, let's talk about the other symbolism here. Let's talk about the white horse, because the white horse normally symbolizes purity, victory as well, and a divine authority. If we're going to go all the way back to Revelations, then, well, in Christianity, the rider. It was the rider on the fucking white horse. We're getting up there with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse here. White horses often carried heroes or gods or souls even between worlds. So, if you show me a white horse and then you show me it on fire, what you are doing is corrupting something pure, something divine. Purity transforms into destruction, and the old ways, the old, how do I put this? The sacred order, go back to Star Wars again, the sacred order is in some way consumed, because, well, let's talk about fire, because fire never means simple destruction in mythology. It's about rebirth and purification and alchemy and transformation, transforming into something new. It can change something old and shit. Fire can transform it into something beautiful and brilliant. You can even use like the phoenix symbolically here as well, as that the old self is burned away and what is left is the true form, the essential self. But in this fire, in this music video, we have almost an entirely blue grading. And you would think if it was about fire or sacrifice or destruction, then it would be oranges and reds, but it isn't. It almost feels like a gentle mourning, not the beginning of the day, mourning of something that has been and is now gone, or is in the process of leaving. Because the imagery in this feels supernatural in a way, but the subject matter, as we know, is incredibly personal. There are, of course, the weapons that they use as well. There are sacrificial, or no, that's not right, not sacrificial, ceremonial weapons in this. We see the swords, we see the scissors, and we see the daggers, all held at one point by each of the sisters, each of our three protagonists here. We also see them in a form kind of garroted by them, but in quite a beautiful moment in the music video. The three instances where we see them, there is a level of kind of butchered beauty to them. I don't know, being sacrificed, something ceremonial, or is it just a part of the ritual? I still am in two minds about seraphim being something I'm missing here, but what's interesting is that the word seraph literally means the burning one. And so if you were going to give me a winged figure and fire, then that's where my brain would go to. However, I do think that over the course of this music video, it does feel like the wings are being deliberately removed, being cast off. One is leaving an oppressed form. As best you can describe angels as being oppressed, an oppressed form behind in order to individuate. You can even see when towards the end of the video when they're looking at versions of themselves holding those ceremonial weapons, almost like they have left a version of them behind in order to become the version they are now. And I can understand why, even myself, most people see angel wings and the fallen, and we think of fallen angels, or angels that were cast out. But there's another possibility here. The highest order of angels are the seraphim, and like I said, it means the burning one. So is ritual just a story of transformation? Not a we were cast out, we have transformed, we have decided this is our conscious decision. Rather, like I mentioned, an ego with people's opinions. And let's talk about the song musically for a moment as well, before we go through a little bit of a dive through again. What if this is another nod to this is the direction we are going? We know what we want to do. We don't want to be held by your expectations of what we want to do. This is us. We're burning the wings off, we're leaving behind something, and we are transforming into the warning, the new warning. And just to close off this idea of fallen angels, the reason why Lucifer is such a powerful literary figure isn't that they were necessarily evil. It was that they were rebellious. And in Milton's Paradise Lost, he is rather transformed into somewhat of a tragic anti-hero, not a monster, but a rebel, somebody who refuses to submit to somebody else's imposition. And I just say this as somebody who has lost their faith, there is always the idea that because we have free will as human beings, as mortals, that we can say things, we can feel things that angels can't. For example, we can say the phrase, if heaven rejects me, then I reject heaven. There are also battles that take place within the ritual music video with these masked figures that, like those things from Star Wars that I can't remember the name of, that almost when they're reaching for them in the music video. We're going to go back through the music video in a moment. This is going to be a long one today, by the way, guys, because fuck it, deserves it. When they're reaching towards them, it is almost like they are revered amongst these otherworldly or indeed earthly creatures, potentially earthly, because they were the ones lined up. The gentleman with the blonde hair was looking up to the sky, almost like they were waiting on them, like this was predetermined. And so why were they battling them? What is the story behind that? Are they battling them to keep them there? Are they battling to go back? And why the really bright white, bluish angel kind of lights at the end of the music video as well? And of course we have to talk about the final scene where all of the wings have been left bloodied, separated from their original host. It's a fucking good video, isn't it? And before we move on, we absolutely have to talk about the flower symbolism here as well. I think it's a Phalaenopsis orchid, which is also known as a moth orchid, which, and me mum's the big flower person. I'm more vegetables when it comes to garden and that, but I think it is, and this would be amazing if I've got this right, I think it has been cultivated by us, by humans. I believe that it wouldn't exist unless there was human intervention to make it. Let me explain a bit better. The orchid is one of the most cultivated flowers on Earth, which means it has been selected, bred, and manipulated, if you like, for our gain, kind of perfected in our own grandiose, rather gross way by humans, by mortals. And so that actually connects really nicely with the imagery in this video of angels being altered, of wings burning, of ceremonial behavior, of manipulation, and they're giving up, and even the flower that exists in this desert potentially has been controlled by somebody else. The orchid appears in the video as well around imagery of worship and devotion. And also it's purple, and that is associated with Catholicism, and it's associated with reverence and royalty as well. So I suppose, if we're looking at our protagonist here as sacred figures, it would make sense, obviously, for the purple flowers to exist. And so, therefore, does it become less of a flower and more of an offering, like a ritual object or like a symbol of reverence? Because these masked characters here seem to be moving towards venerating these angelic beings in the same way, I suppose, that somebody would place rare orchids before, a saint or a monarch or a deity. So I don't think that the choice of flower is there by accidents, because orchids have always been a symbol of beauty and rarity. But what's fascinating as well is that the flower looks quite human when viewed face on, and in a song that is about seeing death in beautiful things, that is about the fear of what happens next. Things are going well, but I see death in beauty. I think it's a pretty good visual metaphor that something that is gorgeous becomes slightly unsettling the longer you look at it. Right, let's watch the lyric again, and then let's dive into some of the lyrics, and I'll pause it on little bits that I was talking about before. Yeah, hi. Sometimes I get really into this. Thanks for getting into it with us. I will dive into some of the musical themes as well. Sorry, I'm so absorbed by the music video for this song. I think it deserves, but I do think the song on its own, particularly, I really do like the breakdown, the middle eight, and the in the obviously up the octave. I'm not fucking trying to sing what Danny sings. But as I often talk about in modern songwriting as well, that it doesn't need to be all lyrics all the way through. In fact, there are entire choruses now in modern songwriting, and even in Berkeley, there's whole courses they will do there. One of the most revered music schools in the world, about how choruses don't need to be words anymore. Hooks exist as just as sounds. Anyway, let's get back into it. So we get this kind of act one here, which is, although, yes, it's a music video and they're already playing there, but in terms of the narrative, that the angels are descending and earthly beings, or we're led to believe earthly beings, are watching that. I must say that it does intrigue me as to why they have black-tipped wings. Like they have already been corrupted, like there is already a marking on them. I mean, I fucking live and die for black and white. That's because I'm from Newcastle. But why black-tipped wings?
I think I'm going blind. Oh, I can see the signs. I feel
Scissors, sword, sound people. Some lovely alliteration for you there.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
it coming. I feel it coming. I hope you close my eyes when I run out of time. Can keep
Concentric circles? Is that the right term? We see it a lot, but we see it both on Pow's hand, but then we see it replicated in natural moments as well. Replicated in the sand, replicated in water, ripples. So, a labyrinth, right? So, a maze is designed to test you, and it can take you off. A labyrinth always is designed to bring you to the center. It is not meant to catch you out. It is meant to bring you to something, an essential point.
running. I keep becoming unrealistically distressed. I play it out in my head, catastrophically obsessed. It makes me wanna rip my heart out of my chest.
The longer I look at it, the weirder it gets. But also, it is blossoming in the desert. Something beautiful is coming to the surface, even in a place of desolation, I guess.
'Cause I just see death in what is beautiful, playing all the funerals. Everyone's blissfully delusional, but I deprive myself like it's a ritual.
I deprive myself like it's a ritual. The ritualistic nature of always expecting the worst. Also, by the way, I must note that the guitar work is incredible. At the beginning, there's some beautiful pans that come across before we get into it. And Danny's, whoever's engineered Danny's vocals here as well, it's very tight and it's very compressed. And it's quite pop as well. I know people do have a problem with the word pop. I don't at all. I think popular music, by definition, is exactly what this is. It's hard rock, but it still has elements of pop.
Ignoring my prescription, I found a new addiction. Now I'm not eating.
The guitar is passing over the top of us. That's something quite interesting. that it starts panned to the left and then it moves over the top of us and it ends up bouncing from side to side, whereas the vocals and the drums and the bass stay in the middle, but we get this kind of overarching sound from the guitar.
And I'm not sleeping, my mind is playing fiction, a curse of my existence, hyperfixation, no medication stops me from calling the dead, light the candles on my bed, bracing for the world to end.
Isn't that just fucking art? Isn't that a beautiful fucking scene? Oh! The angels have got their eyes covered. They're wearing, you can see it up here. That, I think it's Pow, or the representation of Pow there. The angels have got their eyes covered.
Makes me wanna rip my hair off my head, 'cause I just
Sorry for stopping it so much, but there's so much symbolism here, and I talked about it, so we may as well fucking like this. The thousands of hands reaching towards them for what? For salvation, for safety, for love, in reverence, in worship. Also, how much does this fucking cost to make?
see death and what is beautiful, playing all the funerals. Everyone's blissfully delusional, but I did pride myself like it's a ritual.
The shadow, the darkness inside. We haven't even spoken about the relevance of the fucking white owl yet, but we're about to. I mean, that again, it's almost like it's underwater. It like I said, it is a butchered beauty. There are 4 swords already in, and there are 4 almost like awaiting to enter. So it is such a phenomenal music video. So annoying. Ugh, the pushes. Come on.
I just see death and what is beautiful, playing all the funerals.
So going back to she's got like panto boots on there. For anyone who doesn't understand that reference, that's for another time. So in the scene before, when we were in the middle 8, the breakdown, there was the character who we first saw looking up to the sky at the beginning, and they were considering what to do with these angels that looked like they'd always been dragged into like an operating theatre. One thing to note as well is that in all of the earlier scenes, when one looks up to the sky is thundering. There's lightning in the sky. There is not peace because these angels have been cast out or have chosen to leave. There is no peace. There is, literally electrical warfare going on in the skies. But this, where one looks at one's old self, but the wings are already gone here, which puzzles me.
Everyone's blissfully delusional, but I did pride myself like it's a ritual. But I did pride myself like it's a ritual. But I did pride myself like it's a ritual.
I don't think I'm giving enough credence to that scene where Danny is looking down the barrel of the lens of the camera with that black hole. Really powerful symbolism in this. And there we have the kind of the dogma moment, if you like, where the the wings remain, but the sisters do not. Very cool. Very cool. We'll quickly talk about the owl and then we'll move on to some lyrics. So, the white owl that looks uncannily like the white owl in Labyrinth.
You're him, aren't you? You're the Goblin King.
No, it's my favorite film of all time. Anyway, the white owl in Ritual, it might be one of the video's most important symbols because it represents the ability to see beyond appearances. So, essentially, sight beyond sight.
Thunder! 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 Thundercats!
To see beyond people's personas. Throughout mythology, owls are associated with wisdom, with hidden knowledge, and seeing truths that are invisible to other people. Unlike most birds, owls thrive in the darkness. That makes them a powerful symbol of insight and revelation. In the context of Ritual, perhaps the owl feels less like an animal and more like a witness. It is something that understands what is happening beneath the beauty, the worship, the ceremony, all unfolding around us. And as a witness, as a conduit, it therefore has an intrinsic link to the line, I just see death in what is beautiful. Because the owl symbolizes that we can dive beyond that. That even though this is appearing on the surface, the persona, the top level is doing this, where does the ego really live? What does it want? What is the chronic desire, the eternal lust? And I don't mean that in a romantic or sexual sense, but what does the soul want? And on that note, probably a good time to talk about the lyrics, isn't it? Okie doke, I'm going to use the lyrics from the music video because I realised that particularly when because I don't I'm very, very, very bad at Spanish, and so with ego, I didn't want to leave anything up to chance. But here, at least, if I know the lyrics are deliberately underneath the video, that I can trust that these are all correct. I think I'm going blind. Oh, I can't see the signs. I feel it coming. I feel it coming. I hope you close my eyes when I run out of time. Can't keep on running. I keep becoming. My favorite lyric of maybe this whole song is, I hope you close my eyes when I run out of time. Because there is a deep symbolism. We will have seen it in modern media, in films and TV programs, even going back to you know Sean Bean, Viggo Mortensen, Lord of the Rings. There is a level of sincerity and reverence and respect to close somebody's eyes after they have passed on, and that I hope you close my eyes when I run out of time. But what it does make me think is that who is this song being sung to? Is there an antagonist here in Ritual? Because while we understand, obviously the lyrics and the story that's been discussed by the press release that Revolver magazine spoke about, one does always have to consider who the antagonist here is. Can't keep on running. I keep becoming unrealistically distressed. I play it out in my head. Catastrophically obsessed. Goodness me, this hits hard from somebody who is constantly waiting for everything to go wrong. I identify with this Warning song far more than any of the other ones lyrically, because I share that 100%. I'm sure a lot of us do who are watching this right now, when everything's going all right, but we're just waiting, and it becomes an albatross. It becomes something that we carry with us that is unfortunate, because I'm going to put it into professional terms, if you don't mind, for a moment, about my career. So when you're a professional actor, or as I was in musical theatre for years, when you're, 6 months into your 12-month contract, your agent, your management then start going, so we've got you an audition for this. This is what we want you to do next. Or we've got you a thing for this. Because and what happens is that you never exist in the present. You never actually go, holy fuck, I'm in, Australia playing like as I did, my dad's hero, Buddy Holly, and or I'm in America, or I'm in the West End, or I'm whatever. And there are always people there who want to make money off you. And this is rather why, I've spoken quite openly about why I'm delighted at at having Twitch and YouTube and whatever, somewhere where I don't have to make money for wankers anymore. Dickheads aren't making money off my back, my ideas, my work, my talent, my passion, my care. I'm the only one in charge, and that comes with its own problems. But I do really identify with that idea of you never quite live in the moment when factors around you, when people around you are constantly dragging you to, yeah, but what's next? What's next? What do we do next? How do we make more money? How do we do this? And it's, unfortunately, in my experience, it's never really for the benefit of the performer. Catastrophically obsessed. It makes me want to rip my heart out of my chest, because I just see death in what is beautiful. Plan all the funerals, and then we get that lovely refrain up at the top. Everyone's blissfully delusional, but I deprive myself like it's a ritual. That kind of goes hand in hand with the owl symbolism there as well. That there is sight beyond sight, that you can see, you objectively, you feel more aware, more. Why can't everyone see this? And you deprive yourself of that joy in a ritualistic way, that it is a daily thing. I deprive myself like it's a ritual. The ritualistic nature of repeating the cycle over and over again. Ignoring my prescription, how apt. I found my new addiction. Now I'm not eating and I'm not sleeping. Are you on your first few weeks of Elvance as well? Because I'll fucking attest to that. My mind is playing fiction, something that isn't real. A curse of my existence. Hyperfixation. No medication. There's a lot of ND in this, a lot of neurodiversity in that verse, a lot of understanding of what it is to be artistic, not autistic, artistic in that respect, but also on the ASD spectrum too, stops me from calling the dead, light the candles on my bed, bracing for the world to end. It makes me want to rip my hair out of my head, because, and then the repeat of the chorus, I just see death in what is beautiful. I plan all the funerals. You are ahead of the game. You are making sure that I know I'm not going to be blindsided. Everything, no, I know this is going to end. This too shall pass, in the negative sense. Nothing lasts forever in the negative sense. It leans into a false sense, a presumed inevitability that often isn't. And one could call that pessimistic. One could also call that realistic as well, because the glass is there. It is up to us to to denote, to explain, to decide whether or not it is half full or half empty. And then we get power in the background, I believe, doing this. I run and run from nothing because it's not real. But you're aware that it's not real, and yet you still act the way you do. And then we get the repeat of the chorus and back into that refrain. I think this is tremendous. I can't wait for this album to come out. In terms of the musicality, I know obviously I've spoken a little bit more about the symbolism on the music video today than I did about the music, maybe as much as I have done in the past. But we've also been here a fucking long time, so thank you very much to everybody who's watched this today. I'm really excited, as always, for what The Warning do next, and I hope this has tickled your fancy, or made some parts of your brain that do that nice scratchy bit as well when I do these deep dives. So on screen now are all of my members on Ko-fi. Thank you so much to everybody, particularly after we had the whole hacking last week. And this, obviously, while I'm recording this video, is my anniversary week of my first year on YouTube, my first year on Twitch. And I'm still getting to grips with it. I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those analysts, reactors, whatever sphere I fit into now. I just don't think I'll ever be able to just churn out a 6-minute video. I don't know. It's just because again, my own hyperfixation, my own love for the art form, my love of performance, my love of music, and its subjectivity as well, and how it can all affect us so differently as well. So thank you for taking the time today to come and listen to my subjective opinion about the music video, the music, where the Warning are. I appreciate every like, every subscribe on YouTube. If you do want to become a member on Ko-fi, the puppet, he'll tell you where to go. And there's merchandise as well, of course. If you would like to go and get some merch, obviously I'm wearing it, he's wearing it. There's the new designs, obviously, for the Man Mask Piano Pants. There's Empathy's Power. There's Free Range Human. There's fucking all sorts. Just yeah. But it's all there. If you want to find it, you'll find it. You're a free range human. Go and do what you want. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to the album dropping. I think we'll do maybe a full album listen through over on Twitch when the album drops on August 28th. And yeah, can't wait to see what The Warning do next. The growth is apparent. It is intrinsic as part of the ethos of this band. I think that the Warning are a tremendous musical act. And as I do have, and as my father did, always had a penchant for three pieces who could make it sound so much bigger than just greater than the sum of their parts when they all come together. And I think we can firmly say that these three sisters are doing that. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next one.